Hello Internet, I'm Hazel and this is a look at the Disciplined Priest PvP talent tree in Legion. If you haven't already, I recommend first checking out my video on the Disc Priest changes in Legion to get an idea for what regular talents and abilities you'll be working with. The spec has been redesigned into a damage healer hybrid thing, which is a pretty big deal. You'll unlock the following PvP talents as you level up in the new Honor 2.0 system, and they'll work in PvP combat only. The first 10 levels will get you started with the 6 abilities in the left column, and then leveling further gives you more options. Just like with regular talents, you'll be able to choose one option from each row. The first row is the same for every spec, with a focus on getting out of CC. At level 1, you'll unlock Gladiator's Medallion. Trinkets won't work in PvP, so this is your PvP trinket. Adaptation is your second choice on that row, and it's a passive CC break rather than an active one. A full loss of control CC with a duration of 5 seconds or longer will be automatically removed. This effect has an internal cooldown of 1.5 minutes. This means that you can get out of big CC more often than with the PvP trinket, but you don't get to choose what or when. Relentless is your third option. It reduces the duration of all CC by 25%. In the current meta of insane bursts during cooldowns, I can't imagine giving up the normal trinket. If the meta shifts to a more evenly paced game though, this might help you stay ahead. The second row of talents is the same for every healing spec. Your first option is Defender of the Weak, which gives you 20% haste for 5 seconds after healing a target below half health. This sounds like a great choice for Disc Priests in particular, since haste will help you with both damage and healing. The second option is Vim and Vigor, which gives you 20% healing while you, personally, are above 80% health. I see this being better in Battlegrounds than Arena. You'll probably get trained enough without giving people an extra incentive to do it. Inner Renewal is your third option. Healing spells cast on yourself will refund half of their mana cost. Because of the way our atonement healing works, this sucks and should basically never be taken for a Disc Priest. The third row has our first priest-specific talents, and they all enhance our Friendly Dispel. Improved Purify gives your Friendly Dispel an extra charge, which has always been great against spammable CC and Warlocks. Purify Soul replaces your Purify with Purify Soul, which does the same thing at half mana cost and doesn't seem to have a cooldown. If there's really no cooldown, then I have no idea why you'd ever take Improved Purify. Purified Resolve gives your target a damage absorption shield for 8% of their health when you successfully dispel them. That sounds very nice to have when fighting dot classes in particular. The fourth row of talents helps us counter CC and silence effects. Inner Focus is a 1.5 minute cooldown that gives your next Plea, Shadow Mend, Penance, or Mind Blast 100% crit. It also gives you immunity to silence and interrupts for 5 seconds like an Aura Mastery. That sounds like a hugely useful tool to have on hand in Arena. Restored Faith reduces the cast time of your next spell by 30% after being affected by silence or a full loss of control effect. This should help you recover after a CC chain and has an internal cooldown of 15 seconds. Solemn Prayers reduces the duration of all incoming silence and interrupt effects by 25%. This seems like a good option for Battlegrounds or all the time if juking isn't your strong suit. The fifth row has some pure healing utility. Renewed Hope causes your Power Word Shield and Power Word Barrier to also heal the targets that they affect. Can't imagine that not being useful. Strength of Soul causes Power Word Shield to reduce all physical damage taken by 30% while the shield persists. That sounds really strong against any physical damage comp in Arena. Dome of Light causes your Power Word Barrier to reduce damage taken by an additional 25%. That one would come in really handy for healing teamfights in Battlegrounds. The final row has some of our best PvP talents. Twisted Faith causes Mind Blast to reduce the cast time of Smite by 30% for 8 seconds. Assuming you aren't getting kicked, this lets you spit out significantly more damage and atonement healing. Archangel is a 1 minute cooldown that refreshes existing atonements on all of your allies and buffs your healing by 30% for 15 seconds. That's a big healing buff to get on a pretty short cooldown. Dark Archangel is also a 1 minute cooldown, and it'll increase your damage and the damage of all allies with atonement by 15% for 8 seconds. Your extra damage will help you heal those allies, and the pressure from a whole team doing 15% more damage every minute can definitely get kills. You have no idea how much I want to play with that. So those are the PvP talents that you'll unlock as a Disc Priest in Legion. My first impression is that Disc will be one of the most fun healer specs to PvP on. What do you think the best talents are? Let me know what you think and have a wonderful, wonderful day.